last episode, I was talking around the fact that if you want to get the most out of your spearfishing, learning to relax is really important. Now, learning to relax seems like a really easy thing to do, but when you get in the water, it is actually a really tough thing. As we head into today's episode, I'm going to follow straight off the back of that by giving you what I feel is probably the best way to learn how to relax. For me, I learn how to relax simply by enjoying what I'm doing. People have messaged me heaps over the last couple of months saying, Tim, you have so much passion for spearfishing and we love seeing you get excited. Big jackaroo. Oh, I love these fish. I want to speak to you today about enjoying your spearfishing. Listen, some people can just get a little in their own heads when it comes to diving. Sometimes you're thinking more about, I want a good fish that I can take a photo and stick it on Instagram or Facebook, or I want to get some great video footage that I can stick it up on YouTube. Listen, some of that stuff just messes with our heads and takes us away from the simple fact that we are enjoying what is one of the greatest sports on the earth. Beyond that, one of the greatest lifestyles on the planet, that is spearfishing. Now, sometimes enjoying spearfishing is not as easy as it sounds. It's not every time we go out and we have a glass out. Sometimes conditions are just absolutely terrible.
Jonesy, night, 3 miles from nowhere, glass out, pouring rain. Who'd want it? Perfect day right now. Loving every second of it. No fish. Blowing a million knots. Well, whinging and complaining from Jonesy. Oh no, sorry, that's me whinging and complaining. Oh, and cold a little bit right now. Oh Jones, you gotta shoot some fish. Ready to do that.
Now, you've got to learn just to enjoy conditions like this. Sometimes it's freezing. We're lucky here in Queensland, that happens very rarely, but sometimes it's just really, really cold. Sometimes we've been planning all week to get out diving, we hear about everyone telling us that it's clean, and when we get in the water, it's absolutely filthy and the visibility is terrible. Now, if you're going to dive long term, I've been diving for 20 plus years, you need to learn to just enjoy no matter what conditions you get. I see so many people come into the sport, they've been diving for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, they have a couple of bad trips, and then they're out, they're done, they're finished with spearfishing. For me, I've had plenty of terrible trips and I just continue to go and to go and to go. Take away from the conditions, sometimes sharks just ruin it for everybody by eating everything that you shoot. Sometimes it's not the shark's fault at all. Sometimes it's us. Sometimes we're missing cool fish. Sometimes we're just doing dumb stuff. Roll this clip.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Now, Now for me and my crew, we're diving from sunrise all the way to sunset. Now, if you're gonna be in my boat and do that, you're gonna have to learn to enjoy it. Some days we do have these glass out days that are just absolutely awesome. One thing I've had a lot in my boat is guys sleeping in the middle of the day when I'm looking for new spots.
Wakey, 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 it's time for school.
If you're gonna do what we do, you're gonna learn to enjoy it. Enjoy the day, enjoy what's going on. Enjoy just being on the water. Now I know for some of you, you've done trips all over the world or been up to the Coral Sea, diving some of the most incredible spots. We can't afford to always do that. We can't afford to always travel all over the place. For myself, 90+% of my diving is here locally at home. I can't afford to travel all over the world. So I got to learn, how do I just keep myself enjoying it and excited about what we do? I think there's probably 4 key species here for me locally that just get me absolutely pumped and excited. And every time I spear them, no matter how many times I've shot these fish, I still get excited. I still just get over the moon. These 4 fish for me, number 1, big mangrove jacks. Now when I say big mangrove jacks, I'm talking fish over the 10 kilo mark. Doesn't matter how many I shot. Every time I shoot one, every time I see one, my heart's racing, I'm excited, they're the fish I want. Secondly, big green jobfish.
Come on!
Here locally, southernmost extent of the big green jobfish, and I love hunting them. They're always difficult to find. They're always tough to shoot. They don't eat burley down here, so it's just laying on the bottom, spending bottom time and hunting those fish. Thirdly, I love coronation trout. These fish are so beautiful, always so smart. In fact, often when they're hiding over the other side of a rock, you see them look up, just looking at you. I think in their brain they're saying, I know what you are. Finally, big snapper. I love hunting big snapper, such an incredible fish.
Yo! Yo, yo, yo! Yo!
Now let me just take a moment to drill down on some of these species. Let me start with big mangrove jacks. These are fish that quite often are living in deep water. They're fish I target right up and down the east coast of Australia. They are smart, some of them quite old, and they've seen plenty of divers. Add to that, they often live in caves in deep water, and they're extremely powerful when you shoot them. This day I was just drifting, the water's crystal clear. I could tell from the surface that there was a sand hole, so I just dove, and as I come down near the bottom, I saw this big jack pop out from under the cave and head back in. Followed into that cave, bolted, swum along, went further up the cave. I swum along, chased it along, chased it along. Buried my head deep in that cave and it came back through the bait. And I got a shot right into it. That thing went so hard. I was trying to keep it out of the bottom, headed back towards the cave, and I was pulling hard on the line, and that jaw right there just cut that line and I lost the fish.
Give me another gun!
As you can see, I wasn't real happy, I was dying. At that moment, I promise you, I wasn't enjoying it.
Left a massive jack!
When the second gun came, I was breathing up to dive. That turtle just swam straight up as if that thing was laughing at me. At this moment, breathing up to dive, when you've just lost a good fish like this, is so tough. Your heart's nearly beating out of your chest. In your head, you just imagine that fish swim away. You know it was in the cave, but you just want it to be there. Everything's going crazy. You're trying to calm yourself. You're trying to enjoy it. I dove. I got lucky. Just as I got to the bottom, that thing popped out, saw me, headed back in. and I got a second shot into that fish. Yep, heading to the surface. You know I was enjoying it.
Oh, Jones. That's where I shot him the first time. Oh, Joshy. Oh. I thought it was a red bass when I was coming down. It's so big. Oh, what a dog. Thanks, boys, for moving so quick. Yes! Big Jack! Oh, I thought I lost it.
The second fish I love locally so much are those big green jobfish. Now, these fish often are in really currenty areas here. They often live in places where we have dirty, green, cold thermoclines on the bottom, and a fish that you'd never see from the surface before you dive. This dive, I was just drifting and I actually saw some mac tuna swimming around and I thought I'll dive to see what's underneath. I hit the bottom, it was freezing cold, it was green, it was dirty, big kingfish swam past me. Oh, but then off in the distance, those beautiful, ugly, big green ghosts start swimming in to look at me. I lay there, I scratched, quite deep water. Finally got a shot at one of those big green jobfish, and then the challenge, keep that thing out of the bottom. When I hit the surface, I actually wasn't expecting to shoot a big green jobfish like this, and I was over the moon when I got that thing in my hands. Oh my goodness, I was pumped.
Oh, he's a toad too. You!
What's that thing?
Good fish, eh?
Heaps of it.
That's his score.
Okay.
Yep.
That is an absolute tub. Good work, Tim.
You! So just in case you're wondering,
That's the best
basically
fishing.
the only reason you ever go diving is for this and mangrove jacks.
Yeah.
And big mangrove jacks.
These fish are just incredible fish. Hey, listen, we were hoping this would be one part, but there's so much here talking about and enjoying. And as I said, I'm passionate about this lifestyle. I'm passionate about spearfishing. And I feel like I'm just talking too long for your wall. So we're gonna cut it here. And we're gonna come back with the second part of this in 2 weeks' time. I hope you got a little bit out of this. I hope over these next 2 weeks you get out diving. I hope you're gonna learn how to enjoy it. I hope this is inspiring you to get in the water, get out there, go do it. You're gonna love it. As always, we'd love you to like, subscribe. Make sure you click that bell. Don't miss out on this coming episode 2 weeks' time. We're gonna finish this one off.
In the high. Out the tail.
Oh, I just tore my pancreas.